bringing Israel to the world. This is IBN News.
With news of Israel, I'm Susan Michaels. In a letter Wednesday evening, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu informed President Reuven Rivlin and outgoing Knesset Speaker Benny Gantz that he has pulled together a government within the 2 weeks granted. Earlier in the day, Likud and Shas signed a coalition agreement which brings the ultra-Orthodox party into the government. And Netanyahu and Yamina leader Naftali Bennett also spoke on the phone, but they failed to reach an agreement which would bring the religious Zionist party in. Bennett tweeted later, "The decision is Netanyahu's. If the Prime Minister wants us in positions of influence, we would be happy to enter. But if he wants us weak and on the fringes, we would rather be in the opposition." Despite the worldwide coronavirus pandemic, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo visited Israel Wednesday, where he and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and new political partner Benny Gantz were scheduled to speak on a number of regional issues, as well as the coronavirus. In a joint meeting prior to their face-to-face talks, the Secretary of State spoke of U.S. support for the Jewish state.
I want to express my condolences, too, for the soldier yesterday that was killed. It reminds us all of the importance of making sure that people all across the world know that Israel has the right to defend itself, and America will consistently support you in that effort.
Key items on the agenda for Pompeo's talks with Netanyahu and Gantz included the annexation of parts of the West Bank, as well as a discussion on efforts to keep Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons, the U.S. Mideast peace plan, and efforts to battle the coronavirus. Sources report that Israel is discussing the possibility of fully reopening Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion Airport by June 1st. If so, visitors from so-called green countries, several nations with relatively low rates of virus infection, would be allowed to enter after being subjected to health ministry protocols. This move would help tourism, which has been severely crippled since the beginning of the pandemic in mid-March. And the health ministry is putting together guidelines which would allow the resumption of weddings and public gatherings with no restrictions on numbers, but only young people will be allowed to dance. I'm Susan Michaels.
IBN, Israel Broadcast Network.